Welcome back to Brush Country Monsters. On this week's episode, we're heading to the plains of eastern Colorado. We're going to follow Alan Rovig of McWhorter Custom Rifles. It's his third trip out there, and he's going to be chasing some monster whitetail. Stay tuned for more Brush Country Monsters.
Previously on BCM, Alan Rovig and his son Kyle had both taken exceptional bucks in Illinois with very little time to celebrate. Alan jumped back in his truck and headed to Colorado to hunt with a close friend of BCM, Earl Osterling.
Whitetails just hold a special place in my heart. They're a great animal. I mean, they're tough to hunt. But they are huntable. A big animal is huntable if you can put the time in, or if you can find someone that can put the time in.
The first year I hunted out there and killed a giant, killed a deer in the 180s, a big 6x6, and boy, I really love Colorado then. We took the shot, the deer dropped in his tracks, and we had a great Southeast Colorado trophy on the ground after 6 hard days of hunting.
The deer turn profile, I felt really comfortable with my shot. I said, Chase, are you ready? He said, let's go.
Our producer, Seth Johnson, was along on the hunt, and he actually killed out before I did. He killed a really big 5x5 that was a huge body deer, and he was right at 170.
Squeeze the trigger, boom, buck drops right in his tracks.
Buck down! I'm excited.
And guys, I'm telling you, if you know me, I get excited, and I was really excited about shooting this buck.
Oh, man, that was intense.
So we fast forward to this year. We're coming off an incredibly successful hunt in Illinois, and we're on our way to Colorado again. Well, we just got into Colorado. We've been out here about 3 years in a row, and it's always been real good to us. We got up early after we dealt with a big Illinois buck all last night. And my buddy Earl's going to meet us out here tonight. We're going to eat dinner and put a plan together for tomorrow. But he spotted some real good bucks out here. Same place we hunted some last year. So Earl's a big whitetail hunter too, and I mean literally big. He's about 6'5".
Things are a little bit different this year in Colorado. You know, we're going through a lot of what some of the eastern states did with EHD. We had a lot of late rain this summer. The crops are a little bit better this year than they were last year. But those late rains, the midges came out, and we did lose some deer to EHD. So our deer numbers, you know, without knowing exactly what the numbers are, it's probably somewhere between down about 40%.
This year, despite the drought, Earl's got real high hopes and seen a lot of big bucks.
It's a really dry environment here in Colorado. Most of the crops are either flood irrigated or center pivot irrigated. So a lot of the animals are really used to a drier environment. It's really a high desert is what it is.
Eastern Colorado is such a great place. I mean, it's got limited pressure. I mean, you have to draw to hunt out there. Even the residents have to draw a whitetail tag in order to hunt. It's like no other state I've hunted in. And that just sets the stage for some giant whitetails. It's mostly flat, river bottom ground, crop fields, all the things that make for big deer. A lot of cover along the rivers and the creeks, and crop fields provide the nutrition for those big whitetails. The genetics must be great because we've seen some toads out there.
The ranch that we're really gonna focus on this year is extremely wide open. There's maybe 4 or 5 total trees on it. So a lot of our strategy is gonna be putting up pop-up blinds in places that most people would look at and say, you're crazy. It's in the wide open. There's not a lot of pressure on these animals. There is some, and each year there's a little bit more, but you still really have an unpressured population of whitetails. So that allows us to go out with a pop-up blind and put it in a field in a place that you don't even have to brush it in.
This place out here, eastern Colorado, is one of my favorite whitetail destinations, one of the best places I've ever been. We've killed some big deer out here, and we want to add one more to the running total today if we can. So mornings are hard to hunt. It's hard to get into some of the areas and catch the deer before they're back in the creek bottoms. The afternoons are usually the best in eastern Colorado. A first day buck would be great, a whole lot better than the last day buck. So we're gonna settle back, and we got about a 7 mile an hour east-southeast wind that keeps us pretty good all the way up till right behind us here. We got our ozonics running, and we're ready to go. We're gonna sit back, and this field should start filling up here shortly.
Coming up on BCM.
We start seeing bucks filtering out of there heading towards the food plot that we're sitting on. He was at 500 yards, so I decided that I was gonna slip out of the back of the blind and set up on the bipod. I settle in on the 28 MCR, shooting that 180 grain Burger bullet, and we take the safety off, start to squeeze that trigger.
Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by Huffpire Auto and Outdoor Stores, 50 years in Central Texas, and we couldn't have stuck around this long if we were steering you wrong. McWhorter Custom Rifles, the most accurate hunting rifles in the world. Burger Bullets, shoot better, shoot Burger. Yeti Coolers, built for the wild. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
It's been said Texas has a culture all its own. It's a culture born of hard work, long hours, and unbroken determination. But it takes the best trucks, tractors, ATVs, and equipment to hold up against the brutal Texas landscape. Hoffpowers have been in Central Texas for over 50 years now, and they couldn't have stuck around this long if they were steering you wrong.
As a professional hunting guide and camp manager for 18 years, there's two things you can trust me on: big deer and great food. My camp, I know exactly where to go to get great seasoning. Chupacabra rub. It's a true seasonal made by true Texans and award-winning pitmaster Alton Paris and Jay Hanslick. All meats and vegetables become unforgettable meals when you use Chupacabra. For 20 years, an uncommon name with the uncommonly great flavor you're gonna love.
Put it on me. Put it on veggies.
Put it on Texas.
Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by Big & J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong, the range is super long. Chupacabra Rub, put it on meat, put it on veggies, put it on Texas. Meopta European Optics for Hunting. See more, hunt longer. John Burrell's High Adventure Company, the been there, done that company. Hart Rifle Barrels, unparalleled performance, handcrafted one at a time. Alan is in Colorado hunting with Earl Osterling from Out West Adventures, and he's in search of a monster whitetail.
Great old deer with some character.
You know, when we book the hunters, we make sure that they understand that we do have a minimum score, and that we'd like to judge that on age, but we know that not everybody can judge a deer at 4.5 or 5.5, and sometimes it can be a challenge, especially after the rut. But we do have an antler restriction type of minimum score that we put in place. When we do that, obviously we can't take as many hunters as maybe some other outfitters do. So we keep our numbers small, and we try to keep it to those people that are looking for that mature buck.
This place out here, eastern Colorado, is one of my favorite whitetail destinations, one of the best places I've ever been. We've killed some big deer out here, and we want to add one more to the running total. The mornings are typically spent looking for mule deer in a different area that's 20 miles from where we typically hunt the whitetails, although there are some big whitetails in some of those areas. So the first morning was a little uneventful, so we're chomping at the bit to hunt the first afternoon. Unfortunately, the first afternoon, the wind was completely wrong to hunt where Earl had been seeing most of the bucks come out of this mile-long wheat field, so we had to go to plan B. We had another blind set up for that. We did see quite a few deer and a young buck or two, but it was, for the most part, uneventful.
Hello, my name is Lamar Smith, and today I'm going to show you Revolution Safe Company's Stronghold XL Reserve Edition, which is geared toward the firearm enthusiast. As with the Stronghold XL, The XL Reserve Edition is licensed by the Pendleton Revolution technology, which allows you to see every firearm in the safe without ever having to move one gun. When you open the door, the first thing you will notice is how bright the interior is. That's because the safe is equipped with over 400 LED lights that surround the entire door frame and are rated for 100,000 hours of use and are only activated when the safe is open. Revolution Safe Company's custom designed moisture control system surpasses anything else offered in the industry. It offers hands-free operation and a 280,000 hour fan motor that draws air across exposed ceramic heating elements that require no maintenance. The Reserve Edition comes with a welded fixed position turret that can be ordered with a split adjustable turret to accommodate the wide variety of lengths and sizes typically found in a gun collection. The shelves are interchangeable and can be customized for your order. As a standard, the Reserve Edition has a capacity of 29 compact and full-size handguns. However, it can be customized to accommodate up to 65 handguns above the long guns and 16 on the sides of the door frame for a total of 81 handguns if needed. So bottom line, Revolution Safe Company's Stronghold XL Reserve Edition is the most customizable storage-specific safe on the market today. It is the most functional gun storage money can buy. So start enjoying your guns and handling your guns more often. Revolution Safes are sold factory direct. Order yours today.
When is good just not good enough? When accuracy is defined by a guarantee. When custom means exactly the way you want it. When confidence is the determining factor in the trophy of a lifetime. When only the best will do. Invest in a McWhorter custom rifle, the most accurate hunting rifle in the world. Learn more at McWhorterRifles.com.
It's been said Texas has a culture all its own. It's a culture born of hard work, long hours, and unbroken determination. But it takes the best trucks, tractors, ATVs, and equipment to hold up against the brutal Texas landscape. Hoffbauers have been in Central Texas for over 50 years now, and they couldn't have stuck around this long if they were steering you wrong.
Brush Country Monsters is brought to you by G7 rangefinders, built for the first shot. Redline ammunition for the shot of a lifetime. Revolution Safe Company, inspired by Pendleton, rotating gun management made simple. Bushnell Performance Footwear, don't just wear them, unleash them. Alan Rovig from McWhorter Custom Rifles is in Colorado, searching for a mature whitetail. And while both he and producer Seth Johnson had taken great bucks in previous years, his current hunt was very slow.
We did see quite a few deer and a young buck or two, but it was, for the most part, uneventful. So the cameraman and I get set up in a blind that's out in the field, and it's irrigated, so it's got some ditches. So this is down in the ditch, but it's still visible in the field. It's exactly the same blind that Seth Johnson shot his deer out of last year. He shot a big, heavy 8-pointer last year. So we're feeling pretty good about this, and it's 3 hours before dark, so we're in there very early. But we start seeing deer right off the bat. They start filling up this field, and we can see all the way down into the creek bottom, which is not our property. The fence line is the property, but we can see in the creek bottom, and we start seeing bucks filtering out of there, heading towards the big wheat field food source that we're sitting on. So the older age class deer start showing up, and it wasn't long before we spotted the buck that we eventually shot. And he walked out. He was a dark horned basic 5x4, but he had a split G2 on his right side. We figured he was right at 160 inches, and we thought he was going to be a good 5-year-old deer to shoot.
Alan finally sees a buck he'd like to shoot, but it needs to jump over the fence before he can take a shot.
He turned going west and walked out of sight, and we didn't see him again for 30 minutes.
Daylight is fading fast. Will he have enough time? Next on BCM.
Welcome back. Today we're going to conclude our series on the elements of a custom rifle. The last task that we perform with each custom rifle that we build is load development. Most of our guns will shoot factory ammo good, but to be honest with you, that's like putting unleaded gas in a race car. So we've got pet loads for pretty much every caliber that we do. When a gun's completed, when Tim finishes building it, we take it back to the range. We break in each barrel. As we're developing the load, we find the sweet spot. When we find that sweet spot and we think that the load is where it should be, we test each rifle by three shot groups, each of which has to be less than half minute. If they're not less than half a minute, then we either continue to do load development or we'll rebarrel it or we'll rebed it. That's right. When we get the rifle confirmed, we'll shoot it out to 600 yards. We've got deer-sized silhouettes out to 600 yards. We verify the ballistic profile that we've provided, then the rifle's ready to go out the door. We've teamed up with Redline Ammunition. After we give them the ballistic profile and the load data, they can load as many rounds of the ammo as you want. The optics are installed, and pretty much when you get the gun's ready to go hunting. We pride ourselves in our load development. It's something that we've really taken pride in the whole time we've been doing this.
And Alan, one of the things about load development is a lot of the guys that you'll buy a quote custom rifle from don't do any load development. You buy the rifle, the barrel hadn't even been broken in. So when you get a gun from us, not only do we develop a load, break the barrel in, you're going to get all the load data. So if you choose to load it yourself, you'll have all the data and can load whatever you want.
So give us a call today and we'll determine your exact needs and build you the most accurate hunting rifle in the world. And that's our On Target Tip of the Week, brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles.
Two things matter most when selecting a hunting bullet: accuracy and terminal performance. With Burger bullets, you can count on pinpoint shot placement and extremely lethal performance, shot after shot after shot. Shoot better, shoot Burger. Find out more at burgerbullets.com.
Do you prefer field corn? Well, neither do deer. Deadly Dust from Big & J is the sweet corn super attractant. Made from special hybrid sweet corn, Deadly Dust is 5 times sweeter than field corn. Deadly Dust contains over 50% real sweet corn. And it's the only long-range attractant made from real sweet corn. Deer can't resist Deadly Dust. Use it straight or supercharged field corn. Deadly Dust. The aroma is super strong, the range is super long.
We start seeing deer right off the bat. They start filling up this field, and we can see all the way down into the creek bottom, which is not our property. The fence line is the property, but we can see in the creek bottom, and we start seeing bucks filtering out of there, heading towards the big wheat field food source that we're sitting on.
You know, it's one of the secrets of what makes Colorado and eastern Colorado so good. These little pockets of prairie grass, buffalo grass, and in some cases some winter wheat fields, some cut corn fields that are way out on the prairie where there are no trees. There's no cover. I mean, there's just weeds and tall grass.
So the older age class deer start showing up, and it wasn't long before we spotted the buck that we eventually shot. And he walked out. He was a dark horned basic 5x4, but he had a split G2 on his right side. We figured he was right at 160 inches, and we thought he was going to be a good 5-year-old deer to shoot. He headed that way, and we thought it was imminent. He was going to jump right out in the field at point blank range, and I don't know whether he just changed his mind or smelled one of the does that had come across there and headed up the field earlier, but he turned going west and walked out of sight, and we didn't see him again for 30 minutes. He completely disappeared, and we didn't see him again. We glassed and glassed and glassed, and though the other bucks jumped in the field, he was 30 minutes before he finally showed back up at 500 yards.
As this buck came closer and closer to the fence that separated where Alan could shoot or not, it became clear to him that he'd have a shot at this buck.
We watched him as he walked to the fence, jumped in the fence. Now he's on legal property that we can shoot him on. He was at 500 yards, so I decided that I was gonna slip out of the back of the blind and set up on the bipod just outside the blind, which I thought was a more stable shooting platform.
We do present an opportunity for our clients here in the state to take a mature buck, and that's really what we focus on. So, when we book the hunters, we make sure that they understand that we do have a minimum score, and we'd like to judge that on age, but we know that not everybody can judge a deer at 4.5 or 5.5, and sometimes it can be a challenge, especially after the rut. So we keep our numbers small, and we try to keep it to those people that are looking for that mature buck.
He's got to stop, though. I got to get another range on him because he's walking away. Which one is he? Walking to the right now.
So I get set up on the Atlas bipod right beside the Ameristep blind, and we're ranging him with the G7, and the altitude out there is about 3,500 feet, and we've got the gun pretty programmed for 500 feet back home. So the shoot to on this deer was around 460 yards.
I can't tell which deer he is. Is he holding his head down?
After a short back-and-forth conversation with his cameraman, Alan had his rifle pointed at a very mature buck.
He broadside right now. Are you ready? It's 480. Ready? I range him a couple more times. He finally turns broadside. I settle in on the 28 MCR, shooting that 180 grain Berger bullet. And we take the safety off, start to squeeze that trigger, and at the crack of the rifle, the buck jumped and he ran 30 yards, and he was down and dead in the field. Watch him, watch him. He's going down. He's down. All right. Yeah, buddy, Eastern Colorado. Ooh, that was a good buck. He's a big, basic 5x4 with a split tooth. Good long tines, not missing any points, which is what you want here in the late season in Colorado, because they fight a lot. Our buck's dead in the field. We get up, high fives with the cameraman. We get everything ready, and we walk over there.
Congratulations.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Oh, you did it again, Earl. 4 years in a row, we killed a big buck out here.
Yeah, he's a good mature animal.
Yeah, he's heavy. Look at his body. Had most of his points, but he busted that one off. Probably busted a couple inches off of that, but he's a nice buck, real pretty. Good mass, good time length, dark color, just nice Colorado, southeast Colorado buck.
Yep.
4 for 4 out here.
4 for 4.
You do great,
really
man.
well.
We love coming out here. You guys are our friends, and CW worked his behind off. I hope I draw next year, because I really want to hunt with Earl. If I can, I hope I get a landowner permit, because Colorado has become one of our best destinations here at Brush Country Monsters.
That was a great deer Alan got. Eastern Colorado's been really good to him. Until next week, always remember, keep God and family first.